Right, it's Doom here. I'm back in the 3.5 Monster Manual on the Lizardfolk, and I found my baking soda. I don't know what happened to it. It was in a place I've never put it before, and it fell down behind something, and it was just a weird situation. Let's get back to what we were doing. I'm so sorry about that. I mean, I was really getting upset because I couldn't figure out what happened to it, and lo and behold, it was just not where it should be. And I'm getting old, so, you know, that can happen. Okay. Here we go. Baking soda. Let's get our guy situated on there. Get his feet all ooey gooey with the gluey. I'm really sorry about that. I'm kind of embarrassed. I can't believe I lost my baking soda. Super frustrating though. But don't worry, the illustrious and beautiful Mrs. Doom is going to grab me some more baking soda on the way home anyways. I think. I asked her to anyways. Whether she remembers, because even though she's younger than me, she's still getting... Let's just say she's not in her 20s anymore. Okay. We got our basic body down. Now we can get started on weapons. So we need a shield, like a turtle shell shield kind of situation. And I'm wondering if we can snip this guy's leg off and turn this into a shield. It's got some cool texture. All right, let's get our little snippers, clean it up, round it off a little bit here and there. Something like that for a shield, maybe. It's a little small. Well, that guy's got a better texture for a shield. Do I have a little turtle we can cut up? I think I saw a turtle in this box. Well, he's not as little as I thought. He's pretty big. All right, new plan. New plan. We're gonna make a turtle shield. So what I'm gonna do is, this is like I don't know what this is from, a floor mat. We're going to cut out a shape. And then what we want to do is we want to go around the edge. And create kind of a rim. And then we want to using a hot bit of mess here, make a lump, and then let that start settling down. And while that's settling down, I'm going to cut some strips. I'm going to come back to this, and I'm going to go around that piece. Okay. Then I'm going to get something metal, like a knife or something. I'm going to push that down and fill that in. Okay. I'm going to set that out before the fan while we start working on his axe. So for his axe, we needed some toothpick. And we can just use a little bit of this this here for the stone part. So what I'm going to do a little wider than I think I can work with there. What I'm going to do is cut this, and I'm going to glue it on bigger pieces than I need and snip off the rest. So I'm going to get my baking soda out. I'm just going to get a little piece of plastic where I can put a dab of glue to work. Just right there. Just a tiny dab. That's way more than I wanted. It happens. Okay. Okay. Straighten that up. And we're going to do the back side the same way. Can't get that. There we go. All right, and we want this to be a stone axe, and we don't want it to be a nice big square chunk. So what we're going to do is we're just going to snip around and get a rough shape like that. Okay, and then we're going to get glue, and we're going to follow along the edge lightly. You just squirt out one drop and pull it everywhere you want it to go at this point. Okay. Now look at that. It's like a little stone axe. And you could get really fancy with this, truthfully. Like, you don't have to, but like, you could snip some wire. And you could make this as detailed as you wanted. Like, you really could just do cool things with this. So check this out. I'm just going to get this, slide that around, wrap that up. I'm going to come up over to the top. I'm going to snip this bottom part off so it's not in the way where I'm working. Come across that like an X, right? And then come back across that way. And you can make a pretty detailed little axe with this. You know, you can, as much effort as you want to put into it, you know. So I want to put his shield on the front arm, I think, and his fist on the back arm. So what I need to do is snip off his thumb so I have a flat plane to mount this. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a dab of glue on his hand, and I'm going to try to wipe a lot of that where I don't want to lose texture. I'm going to wipe that off. And I'm going to get a dab of glue and put that axe where I want it to sit. Okay. Then I'm going to get underneath here where no one's going to see, and that's where I'm going to make my mess. Okay. That's where I'm going to sturdy that up at. All right, and then we have a little bit of a need for a nub underneath. Because you generally don't choke up on an axe at the very end of it. You know, you give yourself a little bit of room. You find where your hand balances when you're holding an axe. You don't just, you know. Oops. Where'd my piece go? There it is. Dip it in a little bit of glue. Ah, hell, I lost it. No problem. It's easier to work with excess anyways. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get up underneath here where nobody's going to notice as much, and that's where we're going to really reinforce it. There we go. Then you can just snip off whatever you want to from there. Now let's come back and see how our shield's doing. See if it worked out. So we put that on metal, and that's pretty flat. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to get some super glue on this and smear it around. And then we're going to get these pieces on here. Like that. Look at that. That might look okay, huh? And I'm just going to grab this along here. Just like that. Cover all that up. There we go. And now we have a pretty decent shield form. And we're going to be smart on this shield, okay? We're going to use a little dab of hot glue to get this situated where we want it before we get too fancy. Then we're just going to pour some super glue in there. Just like that. We're going to do the same thing underneath. Should be pretty solid. Everything should be pretty solid at this point. Okay. The only thing I'm worried about is that tail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get glue and spread it around there. All right. So he's got some javelins on his back, which we don't have, and we need some kind of straps there for that shield. And I think that you could probably just put a strap and maybe a fake handle on there and call that a win. So what I think I'll do is I'll just get a thin piece of cardstock like that, and I'll bend it around something about the size of his wrist, like that. And then we'll dry fit it. And it looks like it's going to fit, so I'm not even going to go that far. I'm just going to put a dab of glue here on the inside of his arm. Okay. Thank you. Mrs. Doom brought me baking soda. She is a champion of the people, as I have said many times on this channel. So we're going to get some stupid glue in there. Okay. On both parts. Then I'm just going to grab a pinch of it. Oops. I'm going to hold that down into place with this knife and a sprinkle. Get a good bond. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom part. Hold it down with a knife. Okay. And then his hand, he would be holding a handle, like on a large to a medium shield like this. He'd have a handle. And you don't have to have one, but I think you probably should think about doing one, because we put so much work into his weapons up to this point. So I think what I'm going to do... Now, you know what? It doesn't matter. If people are going that far to stare at your miniature and see where your your shields hook up at, maybe it's time for you to tell people to quit judging you. So that's our Lizardfolk. I'd like to put a rock on his base. So I'm going to go down here and look for my rocks. Where are they? I forgot to stop making noises when I bend over. I was told that means that you're old. I don't want to be old. Alright, we got a nice rock on his base. I lost my toothpick. I was going to push it around. I think my toothpick fell on the floor. There it is. Yeah. Making noises means you're old. Alright, so that's our guy there. That's him. That's our Lizardfolk. So I'll see you guys in part 2. I'm just going to reinforce his head fin a little better real quick. And then we'll come back and he'll be black, and then we'll paint him from there. Thanks for watching.